We're talking about music. Ta-da! I'm here! Welcome to the stream, everyone. How is everybody doing? It's great to see you. It's great to see you on stream.mattkc.com, my new chat, which is, I may be a little bit biased, but vastly superior to YouTube's chat. I wanted to be able to stream on YouTube, which is a platform that most people know me from and is where most of my audience is. But I wanted a chat experience that was, let's just say, better than the one you get on YouTube. There are other ideas I had to do this. I thought about doing what Ludwig was doing and trying to use a browser extension or write my own browser extension to improve the chat. But the thing is, there are more issues with it than just the front end. There are also issues with trying to moderate it. The tools are not as good as they could be, and there are also there are also things like bots that I liked. I wrote my own bot on Twitch, and it turns out you can't really do bots on YouTube. They have a bunch of restrictions on how you access the chat, how many times you can access the chat. They have not just rate limiting, so you can only access once every couple seconds, but they also have quota limiting, so you can only read chat maybe... I calculated that I could only, with my bot, I could only read chat for about 45 minutes before I'd be out of quota, and I'd have to wait until the next day to get some more. So I figured that with all of that, I just wanted to... It just started to make sense that I would just move the chat somewhere else entirely. And then I could do all sorts of fun things, like my bot that I wrote for Twitch is now integrated right into this chat. So if you type in !help or !commands, you'll see the kinds of stuff that's available to you. And it's all integrated right into the chat. Do we promise not to have a Lena.png incident this time? Look, I'm not going to make any promises. But the thing is, what's funny about that is that I implemented a delay and like kill switch, so I can actually cut my stream 5 seconds early if something like that happens. And I actually had that before that incident happened, but I forgot that I had it because I'd never used it before. I'd turned it on, but that was the first time I ever used it. So when the stream cuts out, like as soon as the image appears, what was that?
Good timing on the stream since I just finished watching a movie.
Hell yeah. That was, I know. That's why I started the stream right now. No, I'm just kidding. So I've had this kill switch for a while, but I never used it before. That was the first time I used it. So when you saw the stream cut out, it's because that was the moment I remembered it, like 5 seconds later. If I'd remembered it 1 second earlier, it wouldn't have appeared on stream. So that's my bad. I think I think since that incident, I've drilled it more into my head to not do things like that, or to use the kill switch. But you know, so hopefully it won't. I'm just glad I didn't get banned. I found a bug. My membership poofed. Yeah, the membership, unfortunately, it doesn't pick those up at the moment, and the reason why, it's not my fault. This is YouTube's fault. Yet again, I was talking about YouTube's API issues, its restrictions, its limitations. Well, one of those restrictions is that you are not allowed to use the API that shows how many, or shows the members that you have. You don't have access to it by default. You have to file a form telling them why you need access to it, and it's another thing that it's like, I could probably make a pretty good case for why I want to be able to access the membership's API, but I haven't done it yet, and it's a whole lot of work that I haven't done yet. So yeah, that's why. It doesn't say you're live on YouTube. That's true. That's because this is an unlisted stream. This is only the second time I'm using this chat in production, so I want to kind of scale it up gradually. The first time I did it, I streamed to only about 7 or 8 people, and it worked pretty well. So I thought I'd announce in a few more places, stream to a larger amount of people, see how it goes, and if it keeps going well, then we'll start doing public streams. Thank you for the donation earlier, Chris Fratz. Appreciate that. Surely I can trust MattKC. Yeah, I know. There's this warning message that keeps popping up when people sign in, and it's because to access any channel information, because the chat uses your channel information to identify you. Specifically, it uses your channel ID. Nothing super incriminating, just your channel ID. And to access any of that information, you have to be verified by Google, and I haven't filed for verification yet. To file for verification, you need to write a privacy policy that writes, how you're going to use this information, and I haven't done that yet, so that's why it's not verified. It will be verified eventually, it's just a matter of me doing that. But the amount of channels memberships is minuscule anyway, why not just open it? I don't know. It's the browsing through the YouTube API to like explore my options here. It was a real exercise in frustration because it's kind of like YouTube, they wrote this live streaming infrastructure, but they never actually like watched the live stream or figured out what people enjoy about them or what kind of fun things people like to do with them. They've made it difficult every way that I looked to try and improve the experience, and that's why I ended up going for the nuclear option and writing my own chat. Is because everything they did just made it more and more frustrating for me. So that's why we are on here, and as you can see is on the screen now. I figured it made sense to put it on the screen because if I do publish it on YouTube and I start talking to people and there's no actual chat on YouTube, people are going to be like, who's this guy talking to? What things is he responding to? Even if there are links to like the chat all around, I can see that I just know that people are not going to get it unless the chat is on the screen. Then they'll be like, oh, okay, there's something on the screen. Update Olive Matt. Look, it's been a busy month. I actually am halfway through writing the Patreon update, so there will be more stuff for Olive this month. Absolutely. Script. Thanks, I appreciate you testing the security of the chat. I did write this with the understanding that people would try to break it, so I've tried to do my best to I've tried to do my best to kind of account for that. That being said, you never really know if you've covered every scenario. I've done my best to try, but feel free to test things, because I figure it's better we find issues now rather than when there's 1,000 people. The real problem with YouTube chat is that Google is a large company that's out of touch with its user base, so you can't improve it unless you work for them directly. Pretty much. I think even if you worked inside Google, you'd probably have a hard time, because as you say, it's just too big. It's kind of like IBM. There was this famous study that IBM did when they were huge back in like the 70s and 80s, where they found to go through all the procedures of the company to do everything by the book, everything correctly, it would take 6 months just to get an empty box shipping. That's how slow it was to make any kind of change at the company. And I think Google is probably in the same boat right now. It just takes that long to figure it out. So yeah, I think even if you worked for Google, you'd probably have a hard time. And people like Ludwig, who YouTube paid millions of dollars to move over to YouTube. Well, he's having to commission his own browser extension to make the chat better. He doesn't have enough sway to make it work. This is better than something I've cobbled together at 3 a.m. What, this chat, or or is it because I say that in my Squarespace videos? I mean, that's true. It is true. I do think that Squarespace will be better than something you'll cobble together at 3 a.m. But I spent quite a bit of time on this, so it wasn't, I wouldn't call this cobbled together. Did the 360 ever have a soft mod? No, it had ways to, well, I guess the RGH is technically one of those. You can flash the BIOS, but it's always required some kind of hardware thing to make it accept the flashed BIOS. So it's kind of a firm mod, but you need hardware to make it happy with that. The donation page looks so dodgy. I will say it could be better. I mean, for the most part, it's just PayPal, and PayPal is, PayPal will look how PayPal looks. I will say the donation amount and message thing, that was done pretty quickly. Yeah, that could look better, but you know, baby steps. You got to do things once at a time. That's interesting because Ludwig has a direct line of communication, so YouTube is likely aware of the issues and either can't fix them fast enough, like the IBM example, or at all. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Also, I see someone's used Zalgo text. That's probably... I'm glad you pointed that out. I'll need to fix that. Zalgo text. Appreciate that. Like I said, it's better to find these things sooner rather than later. Why is MS so good at having no software vulnerabilities in their console? It's because they were so thoroughly embarrassed with the original Xbox. The original Xbox's security was a fucking disaster. So they invested a ton of money into the 360, and there were still some mods, but yeah, no real soft mods. And the Xbox One so far is unmoddable. Then again, it's also a very unpopular console, so you know, who knows. I wonder if I can fix that Zalgo thing right now. Sorry if this might be a little boring for a minute, but I might be able to do a live fix right here. Is everyone here a member? No, this is not a member-only stream. It's just a quiet stream. It's just a little bit on the down low, just to keep again. It's to test this new chat that I've written, and to find issues with it gradually rather than with 1,000 people watching. You know what I mean? Let's see if I can. Is it as simple as... is it that? Is that how it works? No. Oh, it could be. I updated something, but I realized we're probably on... we're probably being cached right now. Thanks Cloudflare. So I'll have to get around that real quick. Live on stream, fixing the very software that you're using. How are you supposed to find the stream as a channel watcher? There are a couple places I've posted about it. There's I even I don't use Twitter much anymore, but I even logged into Twitter to post about this stream. Weezer. Oh, someone's asking me about Weezer. I know a couple Weezer songs. My biggest Weezer memory, I can't lie, is that the Buddy Holly music video is on the Windows 95 CD. I used to... That Windows 95 CD was like a video game for me. I would pop it in, I would just browse everything. There were, Magic School Bus demos, Microsoft Golf 3.0 demos. There were so many, none of them were full games, except for Hover, I guess. But there are a lot of activities on that. Man, what a shame that Windows doesn't do that anymore. You can't just get Windows 10 and it doesn't just come with a bunch of cool shit anymore. Yes, hang on. Back to finding a solution for Zalgo. Interesting. Apparently this is the trick. I guess I'll try it. It is, like I said, it is good that we're finding this now rather than with a lot of people. Alright, let's see if that worked. It does not seem to have worked. Hang on. Oh, maybe I need both. Honestly, who cares? Oh, there we go. There we go. Yes, great news. Okay, so if you refresh, you might need to clear your browser cache, but if you refresh, the Zalgo text will no longer overflow the chat messages. Oh, interesting. Though someone's posted. What is this? This is Oh, it's a whole like Arabic phrase. That's fascinating, and it takes up extra like vertical space. I guess it does handle it. I mean, it expands the size of the message, but I suppose that's not that bad. 360 seems like a weird console to get modded. Would love to get another someday, mainly just for all the shmups that MS got exclusivity for. Yeah, I mean, the 360 is great when it's modded. It's just really hard to do. Is there no character limit for the chat? The character limit is 500, so yes, there is a character limit. It needs markdown formatting with asterisks. I've thought about doing that. That's a maybe. I'll consider that. That's valid Arabic, I think. Yeah, I'm assuming it is. Maybe it doesn't on all. Maybe it depends on the font you're using. On my system, the message becomes like double height. Anyways, thanks for thank you for your patience in letting me fix that. And I will now I can return to watching the chat. I think it's generally because the 360 had better ports than the PS3, but obviously that was just because of the developers not knowing how to optimize for it. Yeah, pretty much. The 360, if you ever ran into a cross-platform game, the 360 version of it was generally the better version, just because the 360 CPU was a lot more like a regular PC. The PS3, on paper, was much more powerful, but the architecture was much more different. So it was, if you wrote a game for PC and you ported it to 360, well, it would generally run pretty well on the 360. But then if you ported that exact same code to the PS3, it wouldn't run as well. You'd have to make a lot of specific adjustments for the PS3, and a lot of developers simply didn't bother. I think it took a week based on the time between the last public stream and the test. Something like that. I mean, I wasn't working on it consistently during that time because there are other projects, but I worked on it on and off, probably for slightly longer than that. Probably maybe 2 weeks on and off. Oh god, people are just writing random symbols in. If I didn't know you were just trying to test the limits of the program, I would ban people for saying that. Will you be open sourcing this chat platform? Yes, that is the plan. In fact, I think I could open source the backend already. The only problem, I mean, for me, it's not a problem because I like doing this. It's written in C++, which is not the easiest language for something like this. I like writing C++, and it's what I'm most familiar with. It's what I'm fastest at writing. But yeah, but it does work. It is very fast. I'm gonna try the XBLA version of Rayman 3 HD. I previously played through the PSN version. That version dropped frames in some areas. Interesting. Yeah, I would bet that the XBLA version would be better than the PSN version. I gotta flex the fact that I had the Scott Pilgrim game legit on PS3 before I could even hack my Super Slim at all. God damn. Yeah, that Scott Pilgrim game, there's a lot of like legend behind that, isn't there? Because it's like a lot of people really like it, but then it was taken down, so it was for a while. Was it ever lost media, or was it just one of those things where you needed a modded console and most people don't have that? The PS3 having the type of architecture it did was a really bad move for third-party developers. The fact that generation had so many multi-platform releases was a miracle. Yeah, I mean, my opinion is kind of split on that. I agree that the architecture was for a lot of developers, it was too much. It was too much work. Perhaps it was unfair to expect developers to put in that much extra effort for that architecture. That being said, it's really interesting and it's really cool. And, you know, if a developer was willing to put the effort in, like Naughty Dog or any other second-party Sony dev, then the results were genuinely pretty cool. And, you know, so in a way, I kind of like that it's interesting because today, all the consoles are just x86 based. They're all just, in some ways glorified PCs. So I feel I feel a little split on it. I feel like, on the one hand, yeah, it must have sucked to be a developer for the PS3, but on the other hand, at least it had something kind of unique, something kind of interesting to talk about. It was just delisted officially. Ah, okay, I gotcha. Oh, look at that! A person has managed to make some empty characters. Are those non-breaking spaces? I'm guessing that's what they are. Anyone that's on a PC can try and spam the WebSocket. I mean, I guess you could. I wrote in some DDoS protection. I don't know if it's enough yet. I guess we'll find out. Very happy that 7th gen emulation is becoming more and more possible with time, so we can save a lot of these XBLA or PSN games from being lost from time. Hell yeah. Yeah, I think, and modded consoles, I think, as you might expect, software preservation is very important to me. I'm a big fan. What's yours favorite invisible character? That's a good point. I should, alright, I'll write that down. Invisible characters. Zero width space. Is that what that is? Because I use functions to do trimming, but I guess it doesn't catch those, whatever these characters are. Can't be said for what came after the PS3. The PS5 will soon only have 5 exclusives. Is that really? Oh yeah, because Sony is porting a bunch of stuff to the PC. Yeah, I don't know. And honestly, the PS4 it has a handful of interesting exclusives, but in general, it's just not super interesting to me. I feel like I haven't been really excited about a console since the PS3 and 360. I guess you could argue the Switch is not bad as for like hardware, but hang on, there we go. I'll catch that. But then again, it is just an NVIDIA Shield, right? The idea isn't to DDoS, but to see how it handles trash and/or malformed packages. Okay, yeah, feel for it. Is there a cooldown sending messages? There are DDoS protections, but currently there's no slow mode. I can turn on a slow mode if the chat got big. Please don't patch the invisible characters. Someone said this earlier. Why? What's the situation? Looking at the HTML of the message, it seems to contain a bunch of left to right marks. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'll look at that after the stream. I disagree with banning invisible characters outside of in-between letters. Anyone smart enough to know the secret should be rewarded and it doesn't break anything. Yeah, but it could be used to spam. I think what... No, I think you're right that you would... Wait. I feel like if a message is only invisible characters, it should probably be it should probably be filtered out. How are you preventing HTML tags inside of the div elements from appearing properly? You mean how am I like escaping the HTML or sanitizing the HTML? That's done on the server. So when the client receives the message, it's already been escaped. We need zero width spacing for emotes? Ah, good point. This is not how I was expecting this to go down. There are a lot of people testing it. How often do you use jQuery? Pretty often. Didn't you say you banned duplicate messages? Yeah, I did, but it wouldn't be hard to like to change the message a little bit. If there are a lot of invisible characters, it wouldn't be hard to change some invisible characters and just keep doing it, you know what I mean? Server side makes a lot of sense. Cool stuff, bud. Thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah, I tried to cover as many circumstances as possible. Someone could go invisible character line break, then clog up the whole chat window on the stream. Yeah, possibly. If someone is stupid enough to spam, they're stupid enough to get banned. Creativity and cleverness should be rewarded. I partially agree. I mean, I do agree that it's creative and clever, but I'm not saying that they should get. I'm not saying they should get banned. Just that, you know, you probably may as well filter them out. Must abuse our power to test the chat while we have the chance. Yeah, I guess so. We're not trolls, we're beta testers. I guess so. I guess that's what's happening. No, but I do, like I said, I do appreciate having some... I appreciate having the chance to solve these sooner rather than later. I love this. You fixed YouTube's biggest problem, the huge delay before a message is shown to others. Yeah, it's not great, the YouTube chat. It's a goddamn mess. Look at this. It's just a bunch of symbols. I don't see anything. I think the funny uses of invisible characters should be kept, but yes, the spam situation should be dealt with. I will think about it. I will think about what specifically should be filtered out and what shouldn't be. Oof, it didn't work. Yeah, I'm afraid some things like that will not work. Every time someone I know does a premiere, we have to remind everyone to switch to live chat so we can swear, lol. Oh yeah, that's another weird thing about YouTube chat. It defaults to top chat, which means that some people's messages just don't appear. Is there any plans for the stream, or is it just a test? I had some things that I considered showing. But I don't have any massive plans at the moment. Old PogChamp has returned. Yeah. So what I've done is, technically, none of the emotes on this chat are from Twitch. Technically, they're all from Better TTV or Francophase Z or 7TV, and I figured if they're not using that PogChamp anymore, then I'll use that PogChamp. So technically, none of the emotes I've used, at least none of them are in use by Twitch themselves. Why not just go to float plane? The idea is that I am streaming on YouTube, but that I am not. But that we're not putting up with YouTube chat, because I could also stream on Twitch. I streamed on Twitch a lot, but the point is, if I stream on YouTube, that's where most of my audience is. Ludwig solved this with his own browser extension. Yeah, I considered doing something like that, but I ran into more problems with the YouTube chat, even the back end, and that's when I just kind of decided I was gonna just write my own. Floatplane is paid, is it? I didn't even know about that. I just know that, like, I could stream on Twitch, I could stream on plenty of different things, but the idea is that I will continue streaming on YouTube, but without the displeasure of YouTube chat. Actually go to the Sex Gex Road. Honestly, IRL stream at the Sex Gex Road. Next time I go to the UK, where actually is it in London? I think we found it was in London. I think you probably already know. I think from memory it's in London, which means that which is probably where I'll be if I do visit the UK. So, great news. Because that'll hopefully mean I'll get a chance to go. It's paid just to get in IRC. Damn, that sucks. Is there an update to the Bill Gates Berg troller picture? Not necessarily an update, but I've been trying to find ways to track down that picture. Oh wow, oh no. What is this huge character? I mean, I know we talked about it earlier, but Yeah, something should probably be done about that. There's probably too many of those. All right, I put that in the list. Because it limits to 500 characters, but I guess this is only one character or only a few characters. Stop trying to break the chat. Damn. I mean, this is the idea. Found an exploit. Spamming spammers. I think people are still just trying to find exploits. It's a like I said, if I didn't know people were trying to find exploits, then I would this would be a problem. Gosh, hang on. Oh dear. Oh dear. Please stop or I will ban. I will fix that though. Auto collapse messages with more than 5 lines, with an exception for the braille art where it's made smaller instead. Yeah, maybe. I'll definitely figure something out to deal with that. You should consider reading the Among Us reviews. What, on Steam? Oh, I was gonna say. So I've been trying to see if I can track down a high quality version of that image. I know. I'm in touch with someone who works at Microsoft, and I asked them if they had if there was any chance they could track down a copy. As far as I can tell, there isn't. Microsoft, as we know, is a huge company, and you can't just get from one software engineer to, you know, the to some image from 20 years ago at the Tokyo Game Convention. So yeah, but I've been looking into it. I've been looking into see if I can if I can find a way to do that. Is there a way to delete messages without banning someone? Unfortunately, I never got around to implementing that. If you ban someone, their messages will be deleted, and on the back end there is a way to delete messages, but there isn't a front end way to do that yet. I would suggest at least banning the backspace invisible characters, since it makes blocking profanity extremely difficult. It really does it. That's interesting. I'll put that in the list. Hey, do you have this funny image of Bill Gates holding a cheeseburger? Yeah, pretty much. I have some more ideas of people to track down and talk about it, but yeah, so far, there's no news. There is only that I am trying. Just give mods access to the backend. What could possibly go wrong? Yeah, I mean, the backend should be, well, there will be a front end for it eventually. Oh my god. So clearly, there should be some protections against long Unicode characters. Sorry for trying to break your awesome platform, but I tried sending some data over the client side in my browser, but it just logged me out of chat and the WebSocket seemingly disappeared. Interesting. Add line height 5 EM. There are clearly some noticeable flaws. So far, I mean, it's really just that there's a 500 character limit, which works fine for regular text, but it turns out there are some very big Unicode characters that need to be sorted out. Alright, let's try that though. What did you use to make this tech stack wise? It's all pretty custom. It's all like, I wrote a back end, and the front end is just regular web stuff. So many stupid long Unicode characters. Yeah, that's the thing. I think this is perfect. No changes necessary. Yeah, as soon as, well, this was useful. Like I said, it's better to find these things with a smaller group of people than to find them with a larger group of people. And
Signal balls.
thanks, buddy. Thanks for the donation. And giving the ability for moderators to delete single chat messages, because that was an oversight. I don't know why I knew that had to be implemented, and I implemented it on the back end. I don't know why I never implemented that on the front end. That's my bad. Is the character limit client side or server side? It's actually both. There's a client side one which is quick and will show you immediately, but there's also a server side one that will drop messages that are too long. If I put Among Us with a penis in chat, I get banned. Look, I don't think, unless someone is specifically spamming, I don't think people will get banned in this stream, just because we are kind of testing this out. We are kind of seeing how far we can push this.
I want to swah all day long.
Thank you for the donation. Appreciate the swah. Let us upload files. Oh god. You have to mirror the stream to stream.billgates.sex. That's true. I'll just make billgates.sex my stream domain. Can you make this into an APK? Not this. I guess maybe there might be something like Electron for Android, but I think if you wanted to make this a good mobile experience, you'd have to write a custom app. Sent money to Olive Studios. Is this where you hide your offshore funds? Yes, it is. No, that's the actual company I created. Oh god. I left right as you read the line height message. What did you say about it? Wouldn't that just make all the messages really big? I tried watching the stream on mobile, but all I had access to was the chat. It should work. If you go to stream.mattkc.com, it should work in the chat. Oh god. Art is evolving. Alright, well, like I said, I will remember for next time. I'll definitely have a... I'll definitely add the ability for moderators to delete individual messages. I'll make sure long Unicode characters are handled, because there apparently are lists, so that's helpful. You could likely make a sloppy port of this to mobile in 2 weeks and still be better than Twitch Mobile. Maybe. Oh my god. Setting that and overflow hidden would cut off messages beyond 5 lines. Are you sure it's line height and not like max height or just height? I feel because line height is like each individual line of a paragraph. Oh, it's Among Us. Oh my god. Well, I can't say that I couldn't that I didn't expect that it would devolve into a lot of spam, because hey. That is kind of what I ask people to do. Oh boy. Just ban Arabic text altogether. I guess, I was gonna say, that sounds kind of racist, but at the same time, this is kind of an English-only stream, so... Alright, I can make it max height. That'll at least help a little. Because I think the thing about that is that... Yeah, I mean, it helps a little bit. If you gotta refresh. Oh, maybe it needs to be hidden, though. If you refresh, the messages will... There we go, okay. If you refresh, messages will only be a certain height long. I don't know if I'm stupid, but does chat auto-scroll so I don't have to keep scrolling down to see it? So, it should auto-scroll, but there seems to be some kind of CSS meme. If it doesn't auto-scroll, just refresh and it should start auto-scrolling again. I mean, so it says I could add a button for expanding the message. I could do that, and as a matter of fact, if I had the overflow set back to auto, and then you refresh now, then you'll be actually able to scroll the messages, which is kind of trippy. But that's a potential. Do we need to just F5 or do we need to control F5? I think just F5 would do it, but if you want to be super safe, do a control F5. Right click on chat and click refresh frame. That also works. Oh, right. I see. Yeah, there's a chat on... You're talking about the chat on screen. That makes sense. Send socket message lol is cool. I mean... You can... Yeah, you can send messages. Oh dear. A lot of ASCII art. Forgot how to clear cache on Android. I think you have to go through all the settings and all that shit. IRC would be cool. Yeah, I've thought about doing that. Yeah, it's. I mean, that's kind of how. These nuts. Thanks for that. I'm sorry for posting Among Us with a penis. I mean, like I said, that's what we're doing. It's what we're testing this out. We're pushing its limits right now. Fuck IRC. Matrix is a lot better. I mean, you're not wrong, but the point of IRC is that it's super simple and like anything can tap into it. Oh, right, I gotta update my... hang on, if I refresh the chat on the thing, then we get the same overflow protection on the stream as well. Hell yeah. I think you should have a bleep button which plays Windows 98 sound for fun. Yeah, I mean... hang on a sec. I might even... Yeah, I might even make it 3... just for shits and giggles. Alright. Does Braille blank work? Apparently it does. Apparently it does not get trimmed out, so that's something I've learned. IRC v3 is actually pretty good. I didn't know there were different versions of IRC. Oh my god. I understand hating on old IRC, but IRC v3 is great. Yeah, I didn't know that there were new versions of IRC. That's interesting. Oh my god. I'm too much of a zoomer to have ever used IRC. I used it a bit, but I was also kind of too young to be using IRC to actually talk to people. I used it to get into Xbins. You remember that? I also used it for... there were a couple like websites I was a part of, but they had an IRC that you could join. This was before... Today it would be a Discord server, but back then it was IRC, and so I dabbled a little bit in those, but I was never like super into them. I was around when IRC was popular, but I never used it a lot. Besides pirating ebooks? I didn't know you could pirate ebooks on IRC. IRC is a good protocol, but the people who convince themselves that it's still a good option over Discord or even Matrix are completely nuts and sometimes just elitist. I can see what you're saying in the sense that it's probably kind of just holding on to old technology. So yeah. I really love this. You mean the new chat? I'm glad. I'm glad you. It's been. I'm glad it's. For the most part, it is working. It's just easily spammable at the moment. IRC is stupid simple though, but no emotes. Yes, true. Discord sucks big time, IMO. I heavily dislike them and I'm trying to get away from it, lol. I kind of agree. There are definitely things I don't like about Discord, and I definitely don't like a friend and I talk about this all the time, that public Discord servers very, like, there's just very little that's good about public Discord servers. Usually all you do is open them up, see some conversation that has nothing to do with you, mute the server, and never open it again. And that's just kind of how it is. I feel like Discord works really, really well if it's a group of maybe like 10 people or less, or maybe 20 people or less. But more than that, I feel like most people are just going to be muting it. Most people are going to have nothing to do with it, and they're just in there, in some ways, just not to make you feel bad. I know people that get legitimately stressed. They're like, I'm getting too many notifications, I'm in too many servers, but if I leave, they're going to get mad at me. It's like, for fuck's sake, just let people leave your Discord server. It's not a point of ego or contention. But anyway, that's why I've kind of tried to stay away from having a large Discord server for my YouTube channel. People ask me all the time, that people are so demanding. They're like, I'll maintain it for you. I'll do everything. You don't have to do anything. I just really want a Discord server based around your videos. And I'm like, no. You can make your own Discord server, but I'm not going to make it official. And then they're like, but then no one will join it. And I'm like, yeah, true. 90% of public discourse could just be a wiki. Yeah, pretty much. Or I think if that's kind of the reason I set up a forum, is because I think forums are much better ways to have, because on a forum you can have several different conversations at once without like interfering with everyone. Whereas on Discord, you know, some you'll be halfway through one conversation, then someone will pop up and be like, "How do I mod my PS2?" And it's like, well, you know, now there are two conversations happening in the one channel, and it's like, that's why. So I think there's a certain like breaking point where Discord is good up to a certain point, and then from then on, I think stuff like forums are better. Uh-oh.
Yes, my two favorite servers are the Discord for the Whitey channel My Life in Gaming, because it's only accessible through their Patreon, and the small friend group server me and some friends made in 2021 for playing Halo MCC after we overran the Sonic Fan Games headquarters server with our Halo MCC game sessions back in 2020.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I think that's kind of the thing. There's a I think most people will say that gatekeeping is a bad thing, but I think sometimes gatekeeping is actually good, because sometimes it's good to keep things small. It's good to not just let anyone in. It's good to filter out like the lowest common denominator, lowest effort people sometimes. D forum, please God, hope it didn't crash again. What didn't crash? What's in danger of crashing? A filter is a great idea. Yeah, just any way that you can kind of keep things relatively small. I think oftentimes, depending on the thing, some things obviously you want them to be large, but I think a lot of things are sometimes better kept small. Have a look at this. What is this? Oh, you sent me a photo of a dog. Thanks, buddy.
The MattKC Discord, where I randomly ask the dumbest questions of all time and I figure out like 2 minutes later.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, but you know, I'm not talking about any individual people. I'm just talking about in general, the general culture and community of a website. It's the dog from Windows XP. There's a dog from Windows XP. Uh-oh. Chat impersonation could be an issue. How so? In what part? The donor API send responses to your server, or is the response sent directly from the client side? Okay, so I shouldn't. I think it's relatively fine. So what the client sends to the server is the PayPal. So all the money stuff is done with PayPal. Right? All the client does is hook into the PayPal API, and then PayPal will return information about the order, and the client will send the order ID to the server. The server doesn't listen to anything else that the client sends, only this order ID, and then it will look up this order ID on PayPal, and it'll only trust information that it looks up with this order ID. Now, the order ID could be a fake order ID, in which case PayPal will say it's a fake ID, so we won't list the donation. It could also be a duplicate order ID. You could keep sending the same donation over and over, but the server filters out duplicates. It knows what it's handled and what it hasn't. And it's, you could also modify the information sent from the client to say, like, I donated $5,000, but the server doesn't listen to any of that. It only listens to the information it gets from PayPal. So the server does receive donation information from the client, but only the order ID, no more than that. Curious, did you write this yourself, or was it some pre-existing chat framework? I wrote it myself for shits and giggles. And as you can see, there are people. There are ways to kind of spam it that should be solved. This is only the second time I've put this into production. So, as I've said, it's good to be finding these problems now rather than when the stream is big. Matt has prevented further Among Us penis. Yeah, I'm afraid so. The messages are only maximum 3-line high on the stream now. Good to know. I was just asking since I'm thinking of developing my own eShop, so all this is very helpful. Thanks a bunch, bro. No worries. Yeah, I think the main thing is just knowing who you can trust and who you can't trust. And basically, you can't really trust any packet you get from the client necessarily. Well, I guess you can. You can trust some of them because, like the messages you receive are going to be the same whether someone forged the message or whether it came through the client. It's just a message. And as long as there's nothing bad in the message, which you check on the server, you check if there's anything bad in the message, then, there's no real it's not really any different. Some weirdness with chat scrolling, but you can probably fix that. I've noticed that.
Cock.
True! That's what I was just thinking about. Yeah, there is something odd about the scrolling. Sometimes it just kind of stops auto-scrolling, and I don't know why. It's just a matter of... I assume there'll be some JavaScript I can do to just bump it into the right position again, or something like that. I got some stuff I should have been doing an hour ago. Got to go for a bit. Fun coming around and chatting. Enjoy the beta testing. Hell yeah! Thanks for stopping by. Chat history does not work on mobile for me. I can send stuff, but I can't see it on the site. Using an iPhone, so maybe some WebKit weirdness. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't tested on an iPhone. We did find that we used some regex that has a look behind and a look ahead in it, and it's true that not all browsers support that. I would be surprised if a modern iPhone doesn't support that, but it could be the case, and it seems that exception that gets thrown with that regex can cause the chat to just not appear. Again, something to test. If I can do that, the regex without the look behind or look ahead, then that would be nice. I think a button to collapse an uncollapsed large message is better UX and you make it more consistent. Scroll bars have to work. Yeah, definitely. I think that probably is true. It's just a matter of that'll take longer to write than some CSS. Donation messages should show in chat. Yeah, actually, that was a plan. I just haven't gotten around to that. Oh no.
I've had no issues with the chat. It's way better than whatever the fuck stoned-ass YouTube employees came up with.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the joke, isn't it? That, because I threw this together, it's not perfect yet, but I threw this together in, a couple weeks. How long has YouTube's chat been shit? For years? It wouldn't be hard to make that work right. It's just a matter of, as we were saying earlier, it's just they're a huge company, and making any kind of decision like that probably takes years in itself. or at least months to make any single decision that would improve the chat. So yeah, it's probably something. It's probably just bureaucracy, unfortunately, as much as it could probably be fixed by a single software engineer in no time. Matt, what is your preferred chat medium? What do you mean chat? Like stream chat or like instant messaging? Stream chat, I mean, it's got to be either Twitch or this, which I heavily modeled on Twitch. If I once the quirks are kind of smoothed out, flattened out, then I think honestly I really like what I've written. I think it works pretty well. Find a quark. So I tried changing my name to MattKC and my username is retained, so that's good, but if someone tags MattKC, it appears as a red message for me. Refreshing the page fixes the issue, so not a big deal, I guess. Interesting. Oh yeah, it might change the local copy without changing the server is protected against that. It won't do duplicates, and it won't like it has like a cooldown. You can only change your name like once every 30 days. But there could be a bug where it changes something locally. If you open source this, I'd be down to help with trying to make it work on old weird devices, something I've done before. Hell yeah. Yeah, I think I'm almost certain I'll open source it eventually. I meant IRC, Matrix, and Discord, etc. The service I use most is Discord. But that's only really because all the people I talk to are on there. I think if I could convince everyone to move over to Matrix, I'd probably use Matrix because I like the philosophy of everything being kind of open and being able to choose whatever client you want. Discord, actively bans you for using third-party clients, which I think is pretty rude. And so I like the philosophy of Matrix a lot more. But it's hard to convince all of your friends to switch to a different platform just to talk to you. You know what I mean? So that's why I mostly stick to Discord.
Thanks for accepting international payment standards. I can pay with Ideal, so I can waste more money now on an Australian man in America with a huge ass casting couch.
Thanks, man. Appreciate the donation, and thank you for. And yeah, it should be pretty much universal. I wonder what would happen if you tried to load chat on a Dreamcast browser. I know someone tried to load it on a PowerPC Mac, which is very fun, by the way. That's very cool. But we ran into that regex issue of not supporting the regex I was using. If I can find a way to, or someone else can find a way to use to modify that so it still does the same thing but is more compatible, I'd be totally down. Discord enforces that rule? Dang. As far as I can tell, then they don't heavily enforce it, because like there are a few third-party clients out there that people use, but they have enforced it, I believe, in the past, and it's it's always running the risk. It's like, having a modded console and then playing online. It's like you may or may not get banned, but if they find out, they're probably going to take action. They're probably going to do something, right? The problem is you can't convince people to go to Matrix because they have the same reason. They would have to convince their friends to move and convince their friends. Yep, such is the Discord problem, where a platform gets big enough you can't get rid of it. Yep, same thing with pretty much every social media is like that. Facebook, I think, was like that for a while. I still use Facebook, which is in itself rather depressing. But the reason why is because when I was growing up, I think I was the last age group where Facebook was cool. I remember in 2010, people were convincing me like, yeah, Facebook is great. You got to get on Facebook. That's where all of us are. We're all hanging out and playing games and chatting. And I was just like, Facebook? I don't know about that. Isn't that just like MySpace? And they were like, no, you got to get on Facebook. And I literally think within the next 2 years of that happening, Facebook became uncool. It became the thing that your parents use. So I don't think anyone younger than me is using Facebook, but me and all of my like school friends use Facebook, and also it's how I keep in. Yeah, as sad as it is that Facebook is the platform that your parents use, it is now how I keep in touch with my parents now that I live in a different country and can't call or text them. Now it's Facebook. So, yeah, as depressing as it is to be zucked on a daily basis, it is what I use as well. But mostly it's Discord nowadays. Never heard of Matrix? So Matrix is the protocol. Matrix is the standard for a Discord or IRC-like chat room system, or servers that host that sort of thing. The actual de facto front end is called Element. It used to be called Riot, and so it can get a little confusing to Google that because some people will call it Element.
In Netherlands and Belgium, Facebook is still very popular among the young generation. It's so dumb.
I've heard that's the case in some parts of Asia as well. Like I can't remember what country, but like Facebook still like rules the entire internet over there. So sometimes you'll hear people call it Element, sometimes you'll hear people call it Matrix, and of course if you Google Matrix, you'll come up with a bunch of results for unrelated things like the movie or the mathematical concept or anything like that. So it can be difficult to Google, but it shares a lot of features with Discord. In fact, in a lot of ways, it has features that you have to pay for on Discord, but it has them for free. So, and you can, because it's fully open source, you can host your own servers rather than be confined to Discord's servers. So philosophically, I think it is a superior solution. And I do have some servers and some friends on Matrix, but for the most part, all my friends are on Discord. My mom uses Facebook every day, like for real. God damn. Yeah, most people, I'd say most people my age and older are probably using Facebook. I think if you're literally any younger than me, you're probably not using Facebook. You're probably by the time you would have joined Facebook, it was already uncool. Hi, GLHF, welcome to the stream. Wham, woo, wham. Matt, do you know about Jellyfin? It's a Plex alternative, but better in a lot of ways. I've heard about it, but I haven't used it. I haven't even really used Plex. That's a media center, right? Or it's a streaming media service. As far as media centers work, I've only really used XBMC, aka Kodi. Wicked colors. Oh, we're talking about obscure chat shit. Escargot.chat is incredibly based, that is all. God, I've heard of that. What is it? I swear to God I've heard of that. Oh yeah! It's the MSN remake. Oh, that's so sick. I haven't used... Oh! Hang on. This just brought back so many memories. Oh, hang on. Let me get rid of those scroll bars in the on the stream. They're kind of ugly. Hang on. It is... Here we go. Oh, what? What? Weird. Okay, well, whatever. That should have worked. Well, I'll tell you what, just for this stream, I mean, this is kind of a stopgap solution anyway. I'll have a better one later. But just for this stream. There we go. Okay. Yeah, man, this brought back so many memories, just seeing this interface. Holy shit. Yeah, when around the same time everyone was like, oh, get on Facebook, they were also like, oh, get on MSN. even though by this time it wasn't called MSN, it was called Windows Live Messenger. This is exactly the UI that I remember. And what was kind of cool about MSN is that these were the default emotes. These are, God, I've seen these on PHPBB forums. Sometimes people take the MSN like emoticons and they like put them on PHPBB. I haven't done that, but man, this is bringing back so many memories. But I remember you could make custom emotes, and this is like, at the time this was really novel. Now you can obviously do that with Discord, but you could do that here. And I remember I made all sorts of random shit just and they weren't servers, so it was only. I think it was only you that could use your own custom emote. So you just upload pictures and you could just spam them at people, and they couldn't use yours. I don't think they had to upload their own and then and then use theirs. God, I wonder if I still have those. What are the chances? What do you think of the chances that I still have those emotes? Put the MSN emotes in the chat. Do it, please. God, they're so good. Hell yeah, yeah, they're so. Man, what a time to be alive. I wonder if I still have... What are the chances I still have my custom emotes from back then? I know that I did preserve some of my MSN history, but I don't know where. Oh my god. Would it sit here? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, ugh. I just found my old MSN chat logs, because they used to... Windows Live Messenger used to preserve its or your entire chat history on your hard drive as an XML file. And for some reason... Well, I think it was because it only stored it on your local computer. You know, like, if you had a hard drive failure, it would just, like... You lose all your history. You couldn't look up anything that you used to say. Now on Discord, obviously, you can just search your history. You can search back like 7 fucking years of chat history. But back then you couldn't. So I actually went to the effort of preserving, archiving all of our conversations. And which means there's gonna be a whole history of how I used to talk with school friends when I was 14. There's gonna be me trying to flirt with people. Gross. Okay, alright, I'm gonna close that before I get too upset. Sadly, I couldn't find the emoticons in those folders, only the chat history, only the XML histories. Alright, anyway. Is this during the 8-1 era? Oh my god, it's before that. It's before the 8-1 era. Gross. Alright. Upload it to Discord. I'd almost be interested in opening it up and reading it on stream if I wasn't, like, pretty confident it would probably dox someone. Otherwise, it'd probably be really fucking funny. Also, there's probably like privacy considerations with the other person. Like, they might not want that, which is fair enough. But, gosh. God damn it. It's so fucking funny hearing a Vine boom over fucking Windows Live Messenger. Wait, when did that happen? Did that happen? Did someone do that? Someone send you that? Show it? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think I can. Maybe if I can, I'll find a conversation. I'll get some permission from a friend, and I'll go through it and redact it and see if there's anything worth showing. I don't know though. It might just be ultimate cringe. Messenger Plus, you can import and send custom instant playing sound effects. Oh my god. Hell yeah. You could... That's so exploitable. You could do so much fun shit. Oh, I see. You said that earlier, but I missed it. Sorry about that. God. I'm so upset after finding that. Wino Kappa. So I've kind of my rationale is that none of these emotes are actually Twitch emotes. Technically, PogChamp is pushing it a bit, but they don't use that PogChamp anymore, so I figure it's fine. Technically, all of these emotes are Better TTV, Frankerface Z, and 7TV emotes. So that way, I'm not ripping off Twitch at all. What are you talking about? How long until someone finds a vulnerability with that? God, it's a good question. What browser do you use, Matt? Look, I'm not proud of it, but I still use Chrome. Honestly, I've gone back and forth between Chrome and Firefox, but for some reason, something about the Chrome UI is like just works for me, and I know that I shouldn't use Chrome, but this stream's got me thinking of a lot of stuff I should finally try, install, and check out. Hell yeah. Firefox has gone down the shitter, has it? I use it for some things, but yeah, I don't know. I'm too used to like the Chrome keyboard shortcuts and like the way that things work in Chrome. Like when I switch to Firefox, it's fine, but usually I end up switching back. Neither are good nowadays, but Firefox is so much better. I didn't know there were problems with Firefox. I like how people are reverse engineering the chat code. I mean, I figure it's fine if you want to send something from the console. It's not really any different from sending it from the chat because the server is what does all the sanitization verification. So I figure I don't really intend to restrict people from sending messages from the console if they figure out how to do it. Mozilla is making awful decisions. Damn. I didn't know about that. I use Thunderbird a lot, but does Mozilla even maintain that? I thought that was mostly community maintained now. I thought they like ditched it. I could install every open source software ever made all at once. True. I'm typing from Node.js. Nice. Well done. I use Edge. I know it's Microsoft's own Chrome, but it's much better IMO. Interesting. I've used Edge a couple times, but because Chrome is like I said, it's like the because Chrome is the UI that I'm used to. I can't get used to Edges. I mean, it seems fine as a browser, but yeah. I'm gonna send chat messages from Windows Phone 7. Hell yeah. You know, I just realized, in theory, even if it doesn't work on old browsers, my chat, in theory, we could just write a client. Windows 98 client for the MattKC chat. Yes! Hell yeah! Every 250 milliseconds, my username color changes. Oh yeah, there's no rate limiting on the color changes. That's true. I guess there could be. I figured the only reason I put rate limiting on the user changes, like every 30 days, is because it's just because then if everyone just changed their name, then you wouldn't be able to recognize anyone. Whereas the color is not that big of a deal, but it might make sense to put some limiting on it. Firefox has always had problems with its engine actually being less efficient, but they recently overhauled the UI into something worse, which was the last reason I had for using it. Oh, damn. I didn't know about that. download Chrome alternative, look inside Chromium. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there is stuff like ungoogled Chromium, or is that the only one? I think there are others, where it is just Chrome without the Google shit, if that's what you're worried about. And I could totally see using that. I switched to Firefox because Chromium will drop support on 8 minus 1 plus 1.1 soon. God, it took me a minute to parse that algorithm, but yes, I guess you're right. I mean, Firefox is, because it's like completely open source, it is easier to port to things like PowerPC Macs and stuff like that. But yeah. How's the ultimate Windows 98 PC doing? I have some bad news. I actually, when I made that video, I even say at the end that I'm like surprised how unusable it is. So I ended up kind of selling it after I made that video, just because I didn't really see that I had much use for it. And I ended up, that was around the time when I realized like I was going to move to another country, where I realized I could and therefore decided to. So it didn't make sense for me to bring it with me. Use Edge for school stuff, Opera for social media and gaming stuff, Firefox for other things, and yes, I have 3 browsers. Interesting. I have never used Opera, but I've always heard that Opera has its like die-hard fans. I know that, but I've never used it. So would it make sense to make a proper desktop client for Windows 9X or a backported HTML web app for old IE? If you could make it work in HTML, you could. I figure if you're going back that far in browsers, it might just be easier to make a desktop client. What do you think about the Flipper Zero? I've never heard of it. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I'm looking at it. Oh, interesting. They've got a dolphin on it. Okay, yeah, I don't know much about it. Looks interesting, but I cannot I cannot see. Matt, are you a vinyl or cassette nerd? No, not really. I'm a FLAC nerd. I like lossless music, but it doesn't really extend to collecting vinyl cassettes. One time I got a Trojan that auto-installed Opera. I'm forever turned off from Opera. God damn. Let's work on the MattKC IRC bridge. That's actually true. I could probably, because my server, I could probably write an IRC server. I could probably hook an IRC server into my existing chat server, and then you could just access it from Windows 98 on any IRC client. That'd be a cute thing to try on my Power Mac, but I leave for uni tomorrow. Damn. It's so sad. I mean, school education is like cool and all, but it takes so much time from important projects like reverse engineering and trying things on Power Macs. Is that a good environment to develop Adobe Flash code? Because I'm a little insane, love pain. God damn, true. That's how I feel about with Project 64. Yeah, Project 64 has... I kind of agree. Like, I was a 1.6 user back in the day, but then they made 1.7 donationware, and then they started packing, like, malware in it, or, like, adware, at least. And now, apparently that's not the case. Apparently it's all perfectly safe. It's a much better emulator than it was. But it's hard to feel any trust for using it nowadays. Nowadays, I just use Muppin and whatnot. I donated 1p. I'm so kind. Hell yeah. Thanks for the 1p donation. Did I even get any of that? I probably didn't. Probably all went to PayPal fees if you did. Gonna head out and study for my finals? Hell yeah. Thanks for stopping by. I don't really trust using Opera because I've seen advertised and made bundle installs. Interesting. Yeah, that seems to be the consensus. God, I actually did get 1 cent. They didn't even gouge a They didn't even gouge any PayPal fees out of that. 1 cent. Sadly, you need to donate at least $1 for it to appear on the overlay. But I really appreciate the cent. I'm gonna buy so much. Anyway. Listen, if I could lug this thing up to university, I totally would, but fucking hell, it's like 20 kilos. I guess so. I guess that's a reasonable explanation. No, I know the Power Mac. I mean, to be fair, if you needed a room heater, it's there are worse options. Yeah, fully open source now. But yeah, I just hold the road. Yeah, I feel like nowadays you may as well just use Muppin. I know Muppin doesn't have as nice of a UI, but like there are ways around that. There's even a accurate emulator we discovered recently, called, what is it, Simple N64, which is based on Muppin, but it's designed to be like super accurate, like Sen64, if that's how you pronounce it. RC works over TCP. Why don't you just implement a generic TCP socket with a simple software protocol to your server, so porting would be dead simple instead of IRC, since TCP would offer more flexibility. Yeah, could be. I think the idea of using IRC would just be that I assume you're saying we could just do a custom protocol over TCP, but I assume that it's the advantage of IRC is that there's already a wealth of clients for it. So, yeah. If there's a minimum payment they won't tax, yeah, I guess so. I don't know what it is. Maybe like $0 to $1 they don't have any fees for. And we need another 49 cents. Yeah, I guess so. I'm using Opera GX as my main browser and I've been digging it. Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've heard good things, but never used it. Speaking of Project 64, I can't put Project 64 on full screen. Is there a different good N64 emulator? Yeah, it's probably Muppin. The problem is Muppin is command line only unless you get a UI for it. And there are UIs for it, and they're pretty good. But yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, no, this thing has been running 1.12.2 all day today, and it's been really pleasantly warm in here. Nice. I mean, there you go. It's technically free heating. I mean, it wasn't free because electricity costs money. But if you're going to run that Minecraft server anyway, then it's free after that. Only problem I can think of with an IRC bridge is the YouTube authentication. Yes. There is a way around that, because Twitch uses IRC, and the IRC is... your password is an OAuth token. So we could just do that. We could just make the password on the IRC a YouTube OAuth token. What's depressing is the best Muppin 64 front end is locked behind a paywall. Damn, I think I remember you telling me about that. Technically, there is a Muppin front end in the form of RetroArch. It's great too. There's a command that shows the CPU temperature and power draw. Oh wow, cool. 80 watts to do what a Raspberry Pi can do in like 4. More watts is better. The higher the number, the better it is, obviously. I guess, but then again, some platforms don't have IRC clients, and a custom protocol would be faster in theory. Yeah, I agree. A custom protocol would be faster. And, you know, there would be a cost to plugging it into a generic or a standardized protocol, but I think you could argue that we have that there is an advantage. Primarily that that one does not have to write their own clients. They've already written them, or they already exist. Yesterday I moved to Firefox from Chrome, but I'm surprised that the experience is worse than Chrome. I have a lot of extensions, so there's that. Yeah, I obviously a mileage may vary. I personally prefer the user interface and user experience in Chrome, but I mean Firefox I think is perfectly capable. RetroArch more like shit arch, true based. What should I do with the mup and zip file? There's a way to you might need to look up a tutorial. I don't think we can. I don't think we can provide tech support live on stream, but there should be plenty of tutorials out there. Damn. So here's something kind of funny. What's
you need
this?
a generic PNG of Peter Griffin in the stream overlay.
That is... okay, not Peter Griffin, but we did used to have a bunch of overlays that used to appear on the screen. And technically they're still in the code, because this is all based on my old code. This has all been running on C++ for a very long time. Like my overlay also runs on... Fun fact, my overlay is also C++, and it's the exact same program as my chatbot, which is also now the chat server. So technically those like joke overlays are still in there. There's just no way to access them anymore. Maybe I might add those to the donation, like maybe there can be an extra donation option for like also make an overlay appear. What's wrong with RetroArch? RetroArch is known for having pretty how can I say this carefully? They're known for having some mean people as their developers, and I would argue the interface is not very good. It's pretty unusable. Yeah, that's my... I agree with EOXD that RetroArch's best accomplishment is the fact that it makes ports to other consoles much more... much easier to do. Like the fact that there are so many emulators on the Wii U is largely because of libretro and RetroArch. That being said, outside of those rare circumstances, I think that it's not a project that I would endorse supporting. Are you playing GeoGuessr today? I'm gonna say probably not. I think I'm just gonna chat. We tested out the chat. I said chat twice in a row. Testing out the chat, hanging out, doing some stuff like that. Add a custom points system. Yeah, I could have a points system as well. Yeah, could do. Feature creep moment. Yeah, maybe. Forget the developers. I disagree with the idea that you should stop using software because of its dev. It's just shit. Yeah, I can support that that philosophy. So yeah, if you ignore even if you ignore the controversies with its developers, I think the interface is very cumbersome, especially on PC. But even if it's not on PC, I think that it's pretty cumbersome. And yeah, you be mean as you want. I won't cancel you. Well, I appreciate that, but there may be others that will. I like how Chris Crafter keeps trying to put HTML in the thing. There's no HTML will work. It all gets escaped before it even shows up. Before it even gets sent back to the client, it all gets escaped. Is there a good front end on PC that can handle multiple emulators, even if it's launching a standalone emulator? Hopefully something that can be easily navigated exclusively via controller. Yeah, so that's kind of the thing for me, is that in theory, I think libretro actually makes a lot of sense, because you think about all these different emulators for all these different systems. Realistically, they share about 80-90% of their user interface, because the front page is probably some like game library list. There's probably they probably all have to support X input or SDL or direct input or all of that. They probably all have to support the same controller APIs. They probably all, to an extent, support OpenGL or DirectX. They probably all, to an extent, support the same audio APIs. So in theory, all of this front-end stuff should be consolidated into one project that all the emulators can share. I think in theory, that makes a lot of sense. And as we've seen with libretro, it makes it all a lot easier to emulate because it's all tied into this like abstraction layer or this this common reference specification. The problem is that RetroArch is just really bad. They just it's a really good idea with a really mediocre execution. Thanks for the attempt at SQL injection. I assure you, the SQL is all sanitized. Matt's streams are a money laundering scheme. All the donations are him with dirty money. I mean, I wonder if that would work if I was secretly running a drug operation and I became a streamer, and then the IRS is like, where's all this money coming from? And I'm like, well, I'm a streamer. And they're like, oh, okay, understandable. Steam ROM Manager. Is that a thing? I've never used that. No robots.txt. Does that mean I'm allowed to DDoS? I guess I should get a robots.txt in. Someone else who pronounces SQL like that? Oh, am I supposed to say SQL? I don't know, I've always just said SQL. Do people unironically call SQL SQL? Yeah, they do. I've heard it said. I've heard it done. Microsoft SQL Server, unironically, people will say that. The correct pronunciation is SQL, apparently. Interesting. I didn't know there was a correct pronunciation. I just figured people were like calling it that for fun. Steam ROM Manager is the primary way to add emulated games to your library, so you can access those games from gaming mode on the Steam Deck. Ah, nifty. I'll have to try that one day. Thanks for trying the script tags. I assure you the script tags will not work. I assure you HTML and SQL are safely escaped. Reminds me of when Nile Red was questioned why he needed a certain potentially dangerous substance, and he told the person calling that he was a YouTuber, and their voice immediately went to a grumbly, "Oh." Oh boy. Did you know that today Twitch was broken for a bit? I didn't know that. I haven't been on Twitch today, I don't think. Works from desktop Steam as well. I don't have a Steam Deck, and I still use Steam ROM Manager. Interesting. Yeah, I'd totally try that. That might be good for like, because I have a PC plugged into, I have a TV. Obviously, everyone has a TV. But I plugged a PC into it so that I can, my old PC, so that I can run emulator games and PC games on it. And I've been using a wireless keyboard and mouse and just using the desktop UI. If there's a way to, if there's a better way to do that, I'd be totally down to try it. I know Steam Big Picture is a thing, but I thought that would only extend to PC games, not emulator games. Are you going to do the video about how the Sega security was defeated? I could. I have considered doing it, but generally my content made a shift after 2019. In 2020 onwards, usually I cover like projects that I've done, like stuff that I've worked on, right? Who is MattKC? The website was registered in 2011. Yeah, but I didn't own it back then. I bought this website from someone else. There used to be some ATV blog on here. It's probably still on the internet Wayback Machine. But I went to mattkc.com and there's some random blog about ATVs, and I was like, man, I'd love to have mattkc.com. And at the bottom there was a contact page, and it said, and so I just completely like out of the blue, I sent them a message just like, hey, I'd like to buy this domain, and they were like, all right, and they sold it to me. So it's been mine ever since. Oh, I see. Structured English query language. Wild. Okay. What about .gay domains? I love .gay domains, but they're a little expensive, I found. A decent chunk of those mini-console replicas work decently as little emulation boxes if you're willing to put work in playing with hacks. Hope the Mega Drive Mini 2 gets hacked at some point, especially so all its exclusive games can get ripped. Nice. They actually still checked it? The MattKC.com blog? Yeah, I guess. Or maybe it just showed up as an email in their inbox or something like that. Yes. There is a page on server.mattkc.com. MattKC.no? I could. You know what I wanted to buy, actually? Go back to the browser. I wanted to buy... I really want MattKC.sucks, but .sucks domains are really expensive. Like, holy shit. I'm not spending $270 a year, $271 a year, just to say that I suck. No, I'm not gonna. What about .rocks? What the fuck? Why is it so much cheaper to say that I rock than that I suck? It's only about $1 a month, $16 a year, a bit over $1 a month to say MattKC rocks. Yet to say that I suck, I have to spend nearly $300 a year. My god. All right. Anyway. MattKC.sex. Oh god, what's that gonna be? Oh, bruh. MattKC.sex is almost $100 a year? I did not spend that much on BillGates.sex. BillGates.sex cost me less than half of what MattKC.sex would cost me. I mean, I guess I'm just that big of a deal. So, to be fair. Are you sure the sucks domain isn't being scalped by someone else? Check the retail price. I'm fairly certain. Yeah, but I'll look it up on another provider. As far as I can tell, all .sucks domains cost something like this, though. Oh, maybe it... Oh, interesting. Hang on, I'm gonna do a lookup real quick. No, it doesn't seem to be. It just seems to be expensive. I think just .sucks domains are expensive. It would be funny though if someone had already bought MattKC.sucks and they were like, someone hated me that much and they were like, I'm gonna up the price on this just to make sure no one else can say he doesn't suck. Fabio to BillGates.sexy. Yeah. I know we together we have the. We should make a Bill Gates dot trifecta. BillGates.sexy, BillGates.sex. What else is there? Bill Gates. No, that's not a TLD. Oh. Hole up. Oh, damn it. I'm getting a captcha. Oh, yeah. Oh, no! Someone already got it. BillGates.xxx is already taken. Damn. We could have held the trifecta of BillGates.sex, BillGates.sexy, and BillGates.xxx. But I'm afraid not. I'm afraid not. When was this, Ooh. It'd be a little risky to Google that, wouldn't it? Hang on, I'll do a who is in terminal. Oh, it's reserved. Reserved domain name? Damn. Well, whatever that means, we can't get it. BillGates.gay? Oh, hang on. That might be a good one, if that's available. Registered in 2021? What on earth? Who owns BillGates.gay? Of course. All the who is says it's redacted for privacy. Damn it. We gotta get in touch with whoever owns BillGates.gay. So, and we just gotta hang out. And we can all just be the the 3 people who own BillGates.gay, sex, and sexy. Damn. BillGates.porn? Is there actually a .porn TLD? I guess that makes sense. Oh! Yo! Oh, it's a bit expensive, but... BillGates.porn, it's also $100. Well... It's possible. It's possible to own the trifecta of Bill Gates. Just a blank fucking page. Bruh. They didn't even put Bill Gates holding an Xbox controller and a burger. Bill Gates.adult? Also 100. Man, it's just $100. That seems to be the the standard price. I had the chance to buy titties.de, but someone bought it minutes before I wanted to, and now it's some random WordPress site. Oh, that's so cringe. Damn. Hopefully they put something on there eventually. I had the chance to... Oh, yeah, I already read that. Yeah. MattKC.sexy is $4,000? Wait. Really? But Bill Gates.sexy... Clearly. I mean, the market demand doesn't lie. Clearly, MattKC.sexy is a more desirable domain than BillGates.sexy. I mean, what can I say? Sent it twice. No, that's fine. Yeah, he had no guarantee that I was going to go up and read the rest of it. Bill Gates domains are now more expensive. Oh shit. Maybe you're right. Maybe we artificially inflated the price. I think these people know that the people who actually use sex domains will pay a lot. You'd think so, but BillGates.sex did not cost me much at all. It might be the length, because MattKC is fairly short. Oh no. Never mind. No, I think .sex domains just more expensive now than they used to be. Maybe I got it on special by accident without noticing. It's because MattKC is shorter than Bill Gates. That's what I thought, but I just put in a really long .sex domain and it's also 100. It's still 100, so it doesn't seem to be any different. Does that really matter? There is certainly like keywords, like common words will almost always be priced higher just because they're going to be more in demand. Anyway, I think I'll finish up the stream around now. I know it's only been less than 2 hours, but I think we've done some good we've gotten some good testing in. I think we've had a nice chat. It's good to hang out for the first time in 2023, and I have to be somewhere in about 15 minutes, so I'm gonna head off. There's no raid function on this server, obviously. So go and watch someone that you like, I suppose. Hang on, let me actually see who's on Twitch right now, just in case. Oh shit, a lot of people on Twitch. But nah, it's if I just post a link in chat, people are just gonna be like, people are gonna ignore it, I'm sure. So anyway. Maybe one round of GeoGuessr? No, maybe next time. But thank you for stopping by. Let's raid your house. Oh, shit! What will it be, IRC or generic TCP? If I was going to implement something, it's probably IRC. Does chat go down along with the stream? No, it'll stay up. So yeah, I'll see you guys probably in a couple days, 2 to 4 days. I'm guessing maybe on Thursday or Saturday. I'll have worked out some spam issues, and otherwise, I mean, the chat is working relatively well, I have to say, apart from its spam ability. So yeah, but I appreciate everyone hanging out, following an unusual link, joining an unverified YouTube app, and all of that. I could implement a raid functionality. Yeah, you're right. I could have it redirect to something. The only problem is that that might be a little dangerous as far as like if someone managed to get a hold of that, they could get it to redirect to anywhere. But I don't know. I mean, maybe I should have more faith in my in my security. I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for joining the stream, and thanks for testing this brand new self-rolled software. Anyways, see you guys later.